Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's Darlene again with Chalkin. Today I'm going to show you how to make a project on a cutting board. I actually haven't done this before. For one of our other businesses, we engrave on these cutting boards. We put a recipe. Like this one is just a really simple one. Sometimes we engrave a handwritten recipe. But there are times when we get a cutting board that just isn't perfect for our customers. So we decided, well, maybe we will just start chalking on some of them. So I've laid out my pattern here. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the farm animals. That seems appropriate for a kitchen. And I have all of my chalk paste colors over here ready to go. I'll show you what I mean on this. On the back, there's like a little line, and when you engrave, you want everything to be perfect. I'm pretty picky about that. So we are going to take this and we're going to make it into a chalk sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my transfer and I'm going to pull it off of the backer sheet. I've used this cow one other time, but I'm a little concerned about this surface because I haven't chalked on bamboo before. So I am going to fuzz this and peel my transfer sheet off. And on the back I have an X that just tells me do not put it on this side. This is the shiny side, this is the side it goes back on when we're all done. So I'm just going to lay this on my towel, and it just kind of takes off some of the sticky so it doesn't stick too much. I'm going to line this up down at the bottom. And I'm going to smooth it out, get all my air bubbles out, and I'm going to do him in black. We're going to have a black cow. This is our black velvet. So I'm just going to take one of our squeegees here. There's a variety of squeegees. There's ones that are long, and there's ones that are short, and then there's some that are cut in half. So I'm just going to pull this down on the transfer, cover all the little areas. The open area is where the chalk paste is going to stick underneath. And you want to have it as smooth as possible, working quickly so that the chalk paste does not dry in your transfer. If it does, it will not look good when you peel it off. The chalk paste will be in the transfer instead of on your project. I'm going to put any excess back into your jar. Making sure it's nice and smooth so it'll look nice underneath. And then taking the corners and pulling down just like that. Hey, it worked. I didn't know because I haven't done this before. So I'm going to put this into my water bath over here. You want to make sure that you do that right away so the chalk paste doesn't dry in the transfer. I'm going to dry this with my heat gun, constantly moving it so that it doesn't bubble up the chalk paste. And you can see it start to change color as it's drying. And then I'm going to turn it to just air. Get this back down to room temperature so I don't damage my next transfer. Alright, Mr. Piggy, you are next. So I'm going to feel this and make sure that it's right. It was a toss-up, Piggy or the sheep. Well, I think it's the Piggy because the Piggy, if I put it this way, then Piggy's head won't fit up over this part. So Mr. Piggy is next. I'm going to get my towel ready so I can fuzz this. On Monday, with our new release of transfers and chalk paste colors and surfaces, there will also be a fuzzing towel. So I'm not sure if it's going to be available right away. There are a few things that are stuck in customs. That's okay. We will get them eventually. But just so you know, there is a cool fuzzing towel coming. But you can use any of your towels that you have. I'm just going to line this up on his back. You can see through it, so you can kind of see where it's supposed to be. And I really don't want to do the little grass area, so just in case I get carried away with my chalk paste. Oh, and he looks like he's leaning a little bit. I'm going to redo that. I need to have him nice and even so he can carry the weight of the others. Alright, that looks better. I don't want to get the grass in there. I'm just going to put a tiny piece of painter's tape over that, because that is just something there that we don't need. I'm going to stir up my chalk paste. You want it to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. This one is our Peachy Keen, which seems appropriate for a pig. Okay, put a little bit on there, and I'm going to smooth it out, filling in all of the transfer. A little bit on his belly there. Alright, and then start smoothing it out. Put the excess back into your jar so that you can reuse that. These jars go a long ways. This jar is more than halfway full still, and I've had it for 6 months. Okay, so I'm going to peel that back. And I'm going to put it into my water bath. Carefully peeling, there we go. And I'm going to dry that. You're going to dry each layer so that the next one you don't touch it and it gets messed up. And turn it to just air so it can get back to room temperature. And I'm going to just feel it, make sure that it's okay. I'm going to take our sheep and I'm going to fuzz him or her. I'm going to line this up right here. Mr. Chicken's going to be on his back. And it's going to go, I'm going to do it just a little bit over and making sure that the ear is not going off the edge. And I chose fawn, the color fawn, for this. I could have done a black sheep, but I wanted to have all different colors. Okay, so his ear is going to go just a little bit over. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Actually, I think if I go down just a little bit. Right there. Okay, oop. Now that didn't work. Let's try that again. Let's try pressing. Sometimes it takes a few times, but I want it to be right. It seems angled. There we go. How about that? So I want to make sure that all of my air bubbles are out so that it doesn't leak underneath. So I'm just pressing it down. This is our fawn. I'm going to give it a nice stir. I always get all my colors ready. I don't want to open it up and have a surprise and have to hurry and rehydrate it. Which, if your chalk paste is too thick, all you need to do is put a little spritz of water on it. They suggest that we use distilled water. So that way we don't have issues with the chalk paste, because a lot of the ingredients in here are natural. And if you have any bacteria in your water system, then you could potentially have an issue with your chalk paste, and it could grow mold in there. And nobody likes moldy chalk paste, I promise. So a true story is that I have used my chalk paste for months and months and months and had no issues. Okay, I have a little bit that I didn't see that at the bottom. I'm going to clean that up. That is just a little bit of the grass area that I didn't see, and so I'm going to try to just get that off of there really carefully. Okay. Alright, I think that's okay. Alright, so let me dry that. Okay, so I've been using my chalk paste and had no issues. And I decided to go up to my cabin up in the mountains, and I took my chalk paste and I used water from the tap there. And the next week, when I opened up a couple of my containers, there was just a little touch of mold in them. And my guess is that my pipes, my water system at my cabin is not brand new. It's old. It's from the 60s. And there might have been some contamination in the water. So that's my guess. Wasn't a problem. I simply took out the little tiny, it was like a couple of little tiny specks of mold. No big deal. I removed it from the container, stirred it all up, and it's been fine ever since. So don't stress. It doesn't ruin it. It actually really does not. But you want to use distilled water. So that's my story. So here we go with Mr. Rooster. This is our candy apple red. I like the bright red. Removing the excess, putting it back into the jar. Working quickly so it doesn't dry. You can't sit there and fuss too much over it. Just do it. Just get it done. Removing the transfer. Awesome. Love that chicken. Okay, so I wanted to add Farm Fresh over here. Let's see if it still fits. Okay, so that's going to work right there. I thought what I would do is the word farm in black and the word fresh in red. So I'm going to go ahead. These have been used a couple of times on other projects, so I am not going to fuzz these. I'm just going to put them down. Just like that. Pretty awesome. Smooth them out. Make sure there's no air bubbles. So on something like this, the multi-tool is really great, or a squeegee that's been cut in half. Let me see if I have another one in my little basket here of stuff. I have all sorts of things in here. was using something smaller. There we go. Okay, so I have one for the top and one for the bottom. So I'm going to do, the top is going to be black, and I can just go ahead and dip this right into my chalk paste and just spread it right from there. So I just kind of spread it down first. Sorry if I am in your way. Being left-handed is not always advantageous. Make sure that you get it into all of the open areas of the screen. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this transfer. Awesome. Putting it into my water bath. I never just set it to the side because I want to use these again and again and again. And these transfers, they are reusable. That's the great thing about